I had the pleasure of being one of those individuals. And he told me something the other day I want to share with you. He reminded me in 2013, 2014, at one of the conventions when I had first gotten into the prior company. And he reminded me of the conversation we had when I met him. And Laurent, I want you to understand something. You know how in life, sí, tiene traductor, Michael. You know how you meet some...
Phil,
yes,
I'm so sorry to interject. Can you just tell everyone, just if you can say in Spanish, that would be great. I mean, you speak most languages, so if you could please say it in Spanish, French, it would be awesome if you just tell people translation is available and they can just click on their phone and click the translation icon. Please, I'll leave it to you.
Okay. En Latinoamérica, por ustedes que hablan español, usted puede mirar y hay traducción en español, okay, so debe elegir l'idioma, Andrés, perfecto. Et en français, bien sûr que vous pouvez regarder le langage que vous voulez et mettre en français. Il y a la traduction avec français, parce que je sais qu'il y a un leader qui s'appelle Gérald qui est là, qui est en train de faire ça. Forza! Hey, Italia, va bene! Ok, alors, on est tous là, no se escucha. Fernando, okay. You know what, just I have to reach out to Josman to see if maybe they are, for some reason, if Josman is not in a good signal area, Ahmed, I think it's possible that's what's happening.
No, Phil, no, I think, no, Josman is live and, yeah, Josman is live and kicking, but I just think that person has not, they've not selected the Spanish. So, Phil, I'll disable the chat and it's all over to you, my friend.
Okay. Wow, j'allais parler en français après l'espagnol, so we're going to go back to English. All right, so you guys, I want you to understand something. Do you know how in life you have some individuals that you meet at a certain point in your life that have a huge impact on you? And the president of NeXarise, my good friend, our good friend, Ahmed Mukhtar, is one of those individuals that I've always looked up to in the industry because he is such the energy he has, you know, his humbleness. And if you look at Assad, you know, and if you look at Liju, those are individuals that in spite of all their success, you can tell that they're very, we say in the US, grounded. Okay, son aterrizado. And so to me, what an honor to be here, Ahmed, based on a conversation we had a month ago, me asking you counsel as a friend. And next thing, here I am being part of one of the hugest movements that is going to turn this industry on its side, right? So, Ahmed, question for you. You want me to go ahead and kind of give you a little bit, you want a little bit of background and just talk a little bit about what we're doing right now, right, sir?
Absolutely. So, Phil, it would be awesome if you start off by sharing with everyone a bit about your experience when you got started in the industry. And as soon as you share a bit about your experience, then you and I can have a conversation.
Perfect. Well, you guys heard earlier, 33 years in the industry. So obviously you're looking at me going, wow, okay, what did you start when you were 5 years old? No. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm up there. So it's, but here's the interesting thing. So I'm an immigrant. I'm from Marseille, France. I heard somebody from Corsica. So whoever's here is from Corsica. My family's from Ajaccio, from Ajaccio. So born in Marseille and raised in Corsica. So I know somebody's here from Corsica going, woo! Okay, so that's awesome. Immigrated to the US when I was 17, 11 years in the US military. 8 of those years I was in special forces. Anyway, interesting background, but discovered network marketing when I was 24 as a way to generate some additional income. And by the time I was 31, was in a position where in the company that I was in a leadership position, earning a good amount of money. And then the rest is history. Here I am 33 years later at this point in time. And you know what? I shared with our president the other day, and I said, interesting after 33 years that my best game is coming towards the end of my career. Not that I'm done by any stretch of the imagination, Ahmed, right? But I want you guys to understand something. I feel like I'm Zidane. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. I'm that guy, right, that played at the top of his game and then became more of a coach. And all of a sudden, I got called by the team of NeXarise, and they said, do you have one more good game left in you? We want to win the World Cup. And I'm getting emotional because that's how I feel, guys. Could you imagine getting that call and somebody saying, you know what? We know your value. We know your worth. Come on board. And what we want to do is build the next dominating team that wins, Ahmed, championship after championship after championship. And listen, NeXarise family, I want you to understand something. And I'm going to say something very deep now, and I want you guys to listen to me. Ahmed, Lijou, and Assad, and myself, we've had our time on stage. We've had our recognition. We've been featured in magazines and in articles. Okay, I even had the opportunity to be on the cover of Success from Home magazine and featured in the article 5-6 times. Here's what I want you to understand something. This is not about us. This is about the next generation. This is about you. This is about us with 60, 70 years of combined experience pouring into you, to your families, and for us to be there to celebrate your success. This is what this is about. So anyway, I wanted to share that, Ahmed, before we kind of cover where we're at and some of the things that we're doing.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Phil, for sharing a bit about your background with everyone. And because this is being translated, I'm going to try to speak as slowly as possible. So in your stellar career, and just so the translators get it right, that means phenomenal career, right? So in your phenomenal career of 33 years in the network marketing industry, I'm sure everyone's wondering, why NeXarise? You could have gone to many other companies out there, and I'm sure you got many, many offers and so on and so forth. Why did you decide to come into NeXarise?
Wow, powerful question. And to me, the answer to that, Ahmed, is I call it the 5 rights. Okay, the 5 rights. To me, it's 5 things that, to me, absolutely non-negotiably have to be there for me to plant my flag, for me to put on, in Spanish we say, poner la camiseta, right? To put on the uniform, right? There's 5 things that I look at. Number 1, I look at who the ownership is. To me, crucial about this, and I want you guys to understand something, and I'm not saying this because the president and the CEO and the chairman are here, okay? It has nothing to do with that. But to me, it is such a crucial thing because I hope this is okay for me to be transparent, Ahmed, but you and I have been and built huge organizations with owners that have egos out of control, and at the end of the day, they forget the reason they formed the company, and it becomes a situation of profit over people. So that I want you guys to understand something. For me, that is one of the key things, is who are the owners behind the company? Okay. Number 1, what is their background? Because if they don't have any experience, how can they be the head of the company? You have 3 founders that have developed in 8 years an organization over 150,000 people, have made millions of dollars, but more than that, have helped hundreds of people get financially independent. That's number 1. Number 2 for me, Ahmed, is what is the product? I call it the value-added proposition. What is the value-added proposition? And to me, NeXarise is a hybrid of all the best things in the industry without all the crap. Excuse my language, but it is to me. It is It is 21st century relevant digital technology, okay, where people want to be in the financial side of things. They want to understand about trading. They want to understand about how to make money online. They want to understand about identity theft and all the other services that we have. Okay. So I want you guys to understand something. It has to be relevant to me. I evaluate without emotion. I look at the product and service and say, is this a value added proposition for the end user? That's number two. Number three, I look at the compensation plan. And listen to me about this. I have learned in 33 years that the compensation plan creates the culture of the organization. I'm going to repeat this. The compensation plan creates the culture of the organization of the leaders. I come from Ahmed, Lijou, Assad, a lot of you come from a comp plan that is when somebody equals your rank, they cut you off and you abandon them. It is the worst possible culture you can create. Means you compete against your own people. It makes no sense. No sense. And when I looked at this comp plan and I realized that it was based on volume, pure volume, it's business. It's pure volume that you could have 10 TCs under you. You're not getting cut off because there's a rank that is the same or greater than you. I looked at that and I said, oh my God, can it be? Okay. Number 4 for me is timing. Timing. Listen to me. There is no better time than now. And can I tell you why? I'm going to be very candid with you guys. I admire those of you that have led the charge and that are the founders of NeXarise. Thank you. We're telling your story in Colombia right now of what you guys have done for the last 18 months, because you guys have built it from the dirt up. We get to come in Latin America and everybody's going, and we're going to talk about that right now, Ahmed, and go, wow, Latin America is so great. But what you guys need to understand something, I feel that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, because to be a pioneer is not an easy thing, right? But I will tell you that for those of you that are sharing the opportunity right now, or leaders, and maybe you're just an ETT, or maybe you're just getting started in your QC. I look, whatever it is, there is no better time. The timing and positioning of this will be the next $100 million, $250 million, $500 million company, billion-dollar company in the next 10, 15, 20 years. This is a legacy move. That's what I told Ahmed. That's what I told Lijou, and I said, I want to be part of a legacy company. This is it. Number 5 for me is I look at the field. I look at the kind of people that we are attracting because of the right ownership, the value-added proposition of the products and services, the right comp plan, the right timing where you can position yourself. We are attracting some of the biggest and brightest and best leaders, pero ojo, como decimos en español, okay, but with a caveat, that are people of high value, integrity, and worth. Not people that are scammers. I love what I'm seeing here. I was part of a leadership yesterday, Ahmed, and watching who's there. I just got off a call with some Italian leaders, with Sebastian, and I see that sparkle. They're excited. And guys, all I can tell you is those 5 components is the reason I'm here. But more than anything else is I know the owners of this company. They're my personal friends. I was for 8 years on the teams. Okay, I was a sniper. And to me, I got to tell you something. I don't follow a rank. I follow the man. I want you to understand something. And I would go to battle every single day without any questions with Mr. Ahmed Mukhtar, with Mr. Lijou Thomas, and with Assad Ali. Undoubtedly, because I know beyond a reasonable doubt their character, their integrity, and their vision, and everything that they're putting on the line for us. So Ahmed, I know that's a little bit of a long about way to put it, but I want to make sure everybody is very clear why I'm here.
Believe me when I say the stage is yours and everyone's locked in. So the more you can give, the better. Take your time. There is no rush at all. the second question I have for you is, and by the way, thank you for the, for your first response. But I know it's been 7 days since we've kind of put everything in motion and we finalized everything. It's been 7 days, right? Do you mind just sharing with everyone the last 7 days you got involved in NeXarise? One of the first things you said to us was, hey, look, guys, I know the company did a pre-launch in Colombia before and in Latin America before. And you said, but listen, I want to relaunch the entire Latin America. And you said, I have one condition. And your condition was that you all let me do what I need to do and let me relaunch that market how I want to. The first thing we said is, absolutely yes, we have 0 reservations because we know what you've done in the past. And I know whatever you've done in the past will just 10x in the future. So the question I have for you is, do you mind sharing with everyone over the last 7 days, what has taken place in Latin America, what is happening? And then we'll speak about strategies afterwards.
Well, sir, I'll do one better.
Wow, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So those are all the people that are signing up on a daily basis. That's crazy.
And you got to excuse the grin on my face because I'm grinning like we say in the US, like a Cheshire cat. And it's like, it's the guy that's got the canary. There's a cartoon in the US where the cat has the canary in his mouth and he's got this grin on his face, right, Ahmed? And here's what I will tell you. In 6 days, as of today, officially, we have registered between all the teams here, well over 850 people. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Because some people are going to think something's wrong there. But this pre-launch strategy that you all have allowed me to duplicate of what I did in 18, 19, and then it wasn't me. Let me be very clear. I've been blessed with a great team. So anybody that stands on stage and said, I put in 35,000 people in 6 months, 50,000 people in 8 months, and it's full. I'm not that guy. I was blessed with, and I continue to be blessed with an amazing team of individuals that are here with us. But it's a simple strategy where for us, we build based on vision, timing, and positioning, because you and I came from a company where when it was all said and done, okay, the product that we promised was much worse than what it was, than what we told people, right? And the company, we overpromised and underdelivered. And here is because we're under-promising, and I know we're going to over-deliver. And people are so excited, Ahmed, they're so burnt out with all the scams. They're so tired of, okay, you know what? Okay, Ahmed, get into my deal. What's your deal? You put in $5,000, $10,000 and don't worry about it, bro. It's me. Trust me, bro. Okay. And what happens is the company is got this algorithm and they are going to take care of your money. And we're going to guarantee you 250% return in 18 months. Just trust me. Just trust me. And then you go, well, who are the owners? Well, they're somewhere in Taiwan. They're somewhere in Russia. Well, I want to meet them. Oh, no, dude, I can't see them, and then you go, okay, so, and then how about support? Oh, support is at Gmail. Support is at Gmail. Oh, okay, hold on. Wait, and look, I'm not going to pick on anybody, but to me, a Ponzi is a Ponzi is a Ponzi. We have a saying in Ahmed in Texas. Okay, this is where you guys find out that I'm a little bit country. You put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Okay. And all I want you guys to understand is that in the last 2-3 years, with a lot of companies, the reality is it's a money game. The money that they're paying out the leaders, and this is not my opinion, this is fact. Listen to me. I'm not saying this to offend anybody, is based on the people enrolling. It's not based on the portfolio. There is no company, no investor, no trader that can give you a compound interest of 150, 200, 200. It doesn't exist, guys. That's called a Ponzi. Be real. The best traders in the world right now, and I know some of the best, as well as Ahmed, Lijou, and Assad, they tell me that if you consistently produce 8 to 10% a month, you are at the top of your game consistently, month after month after month. Okay. And I want you guys to understand something. The reason we are having the results that we're having here is because there's a book by Ray Dalio, Ahmed, and Ray Dalio, which is one of the best known investors, has one of the best track records, and he has given some biggest returns. And the book is called Crucial Conversations. I want you guys to read that book. This is one of those crucial conversations. I don't get emotional about BS. People make decisions, Ahmed, based on either emotion or on pure need. Okay. And they get excited about a company like that because their friend told them about it, because his friend told them about it, and because somebody showed them a check. And so they don't analyze, they don't make a logical decision. They make an emotional decision. But most of the times it's because they need it so bad that they are willing to ignore the red flags and the flashing red lights. Does that make sense? And I apologize for going a little bit off track there, but I want you to understand something. When we talk about NeXarise and we talk about the owners and we talk about the technology and the services and the comp plan and everything that we're putting together, can I tell you something? I feel proud to walk. See, here's what I know, Ahmed. Listen to me, okay? All of you. I'll walk around with a huge t-shirt saying, I am a NeXarise leader, without having to worry about somebody coming up in the street and wanting to kick my butt because I scammed them out of 5-10 grand because the owners decided to disappear and change the game and walk away with people's money. Guys, I can't live like that. It's a real opportunity with a real offer, value-added proposition. So with that in mind, what we've done here, Ahmed, is people are excited about a real opportunity with real owners, with a real tangible product or service that people want to be able to get a return, a real return on their investment, with an education platform, with other services. And here's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Listen to this. Imagine, you've seen the picture before, and it's a story, crucial conversation. That's exactly it. There's this picture I remember that I had a long time ago, and it was a mansion, Ahmed, and it had a garage. And for you guys that don't know, I race cars as a hobby. And to me, it's Audis. And then I have this ridiculous 750, 800 horsepower Camaro ZL1 1LE that we race. This thing's just a beast, so I love cars. But I remember this picture from when I was in my first company, Ahmed, and it was a garage, and it had a Lamborghini, a Porsche, a Mercedes, an Aston Martin, a McLaren, and I want you guys to understand is that's NeXarise. That's the NeXarise garage of services that you have. We have all the supercars, and you walk out in the garage in the day and you decide, which car do I want to drive today? Which one do I want to talk about today? But you have all of them. I want you to understand that that's what's happening here. That's why the leaders here in Latin America, based on the components that I'm sharing with you, okay, based on the vision and timing and positioning and what's coming, why we're growing, instead of just being focused on the Lamborghini, the air is low on the tire or it's got a flat tire. I hope that makes sense, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Phil. No, absolute. The value, I'm sure everyone would agree, but the value that everyone's getting out of this is just, it's incredible. I'm actually taking notes as you speak. So this leads me on to another question I have. What is the current strategy? So for you to put 850 people in 7 days, that's an average of more than 100 people a day, right? So that's, in fact, I need to do some division on that, right? So that's 121 people a day. 121 people a day. That means every hour, no matter whether you're sleeping or not, 5 people are signing up. How is this happening? Because there must be something going on, and there must be a strategy in place as to why people feel the fear of loss to get involved right now and lock themselves into the system.
Yes, sir. And this is a great question. This is something that I learned in the military. It's called cadence. It's called cadence. Guys, you guys call it whatever you want it. To me, cadence is up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, left, right, left. Okay, and I know you guys listen. But I know it sounds crazy, but that's my drill instructor, and it's in my head. I remember. And what people don't understand, Ahmed, is that I'm going to shoot directly from the hip because I'm a straight shooter. Okay, listen to me. You can't expect to get paid like a pro and play like an amateur. You cannot expect. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You guys look at the leaders and go, I want to make 100K a month, but you know what? I want to do 1 presentation a week. Are you kidding me right now? And look, I don't want to offend anybody here. Everybody has the right to build at their own pace. But to me, your action has to be congruent, or your action has to be congruent with your goal. You cannot expect to become a TC, an RVP, or an SVP if you're not willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to grind, guys, grind. And you guys are going to get to know me. I am intense. You're going to get to know me, and you're going to see I am 5'11 and a half. I'm 265 pounds. I have 20.5-inch arms, 52-inch chest. You know what? Bring it. I'll take it on. I might be 57-year-old, but like we say in Texas, I ain't scared. And I'm not telling you that with ego. One thing that I know, Ahmed, is that to me, if somebody wants to pass me up, you better be ready to have your tongue hanging out. You better be ready to outgrind me. You better be ready to get up earlier, work harder, have less sleep, have less of everything for a short amount of time. That's what it takes. See, there's no secret to success. Everybody always asks me, they say, Phil, Ahmed, Liju, I said, tell me, what's the secret? You have to freaking grind. You got to want it more than anybody else. You have to eat it, sleep it, crap it. I mean, excuse my language, guys, but it's got to be, you've got to be so, Les Brown says, you have to be hungry. And so all we've taught people here, and can I tell you something, Ahmed? This is not what I've taught people. Let me share you what the reality of what's happening in Latin America. I love Latin America, but here's the problem. We've gotten lazy everywhere else. We are lazy and fat. Being average anywhere else, including in the US where I'm at, is a piece of cake. And here, okay, in Colombia, 55% of the people, Ahmed, make less than $350 a month. I want you guys to sink in a little bit. See, I want you to understand something. This is not an optional thing for them. They either hunt and kill, or if not, they don't eat. The problem is we live in a world, Ahmed, and I hope this is not too profound or too deep or too harsh, is that we have gotten so used to that you don't have to hunt and kill, you still eat, because the rest of the world is so privileged. But we live in a society, I live in a place where I am so blessed. I get up every single day, and what I'm excited about is having something real to offer to people, where making an extra $500 a month changes their life completely. And what they tell me is, Phil, you give me a real opportunity. I talk about sharing the opportunity. My cadence, okay, is 2 to 3 times a day, 5 and 6 times a week. 2 to 3 times a day, 5 to 6 days a week. 2 to 3 times a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Up 2, 3, 4. Guys, you understand cadence? And these guys are looking at me and they're going, what? They're sharing it 7, 8, 9 times a day, 10 times a day. They're starting at 7 o'clock in the morning and they're finishing at 1, 2 o'clock. And listen, with our president, 4 or 5 o'clock. We're laughing the other day. We're on meetings with leaders. It's dark, and we look back behind him, and the sun is coming up. That's what it's called grinding, guys. There's no secrets. This is not about Colombia. This is about you. This is about what is your grind? What is your cadence there in the UK, in France, in Italy, in Spain, wherever you may at? Because here's so funny. You guys are gonna go, oh, they're so lucky over there. No, we just want it more. We just want it more. Ahmed, they just want it more. These people are grinding constantly. I'm falling out, and they're going, hey, Phil, one more. Ahmed, one more, right? And that's it. There is no secrets, guys. There is no secrets. There is just predictable patterns, predictable actions, consistent, persistent actions that give you predictable results. That's it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I remember the other night, we were like, I think, I actually told my family as well that my time zone currently is Latin America. Like, honestly, I wake up when Latin America wake up. I sleep when they sleep. It's like 5 in the morning. We're just finishing off Zoom calls. It's been crazy. And, the result speaks for itself. So this leads me to my third question, which is 850 people in the last 7 days, right? Where do you see Latin America, let's say May, June, July, and the balance of this year? And then where do you see NeXarise in the next 5 years?
You give me goosebumps, brother, because it's like you're reading my mind. And by the way, Ahmed, I apologize about this old school headset. The other day in the taxi, somebody got a gift of a brand new $250 headset, and look, I think God's timing is amazing. So I'm using this old school one until I find the other ones and get some other ones. But anyway, I'm going to answer this way, okay? I just got a message from Victor. Remember the attorney?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I know Victor very well.
Here's what he told me, okay? He says, he sent me a picture and he says, this is my last rodeo, okay? He says, I'm going to have 50 direct lines before May. And this is a gentleman last night that showed me his back office after 5 days and just passed 400 people in his organization. So I'm sorry, I'm getting goosebumps and I get emotional about this. Guys, I want you to understand something. God's timing is always perfect. God's timing is always perfect. And I want you guys to understand something. And on a serious note here, and I'm going to respond to this question every single day, Ahmed, I'm having to reevaluate my, believe it or not, guys, I have limitations, just like you. So I want to be very real about this. And my initial expectations, I told Ahmed, I think we can put in 2,500 people by June 1st. You remember, Ahmed, I told you that, right? But God is so good and everything is just aligning so well that there is a gentleman on this call that at this run rate that he's having right now will probably have 2,500 people in his organization alone by May 1st. Which means that at the run rate we are now, I will be shocked if we do not have in the June event 10,000, 8 to 10,000 people in the event. And from there, because of this strategy that we're using of pre-launch for 45 days, then launching the service, and that we are going to break, listen to me, hundreds of ETTs, of ETLs, of TCs. There's going to be at least 25, 30 RVPs. And there will be out of this, mark my words, 2 to 3 SVPs in record time here. It's called the tsunami effect. It's creating that momentum. And from there, what I believe will happen, and I'm going to say this, and I hope it doesn't offend any of you leaders that launched since the beginning, okay? But I'm just going to say it. Latin America will become the top producing market in NeXarise. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I just want you guys to understand. You guys want to beat us? You want to beat Latin America? You want to, and it's not us because I'm corporate. You want to beat the leaders, is that you're just going to have to grind. All I can tell you is their goal is to have 25,000 people in between now and the end of the year, and to compound that into an organization of well over 50 to 100,000 people in the next 18 to 24 months. And I know you guys are looking at me going, that's nuts. It's not. I'm going to show you again. But you understand something? Documentation beats conversation. I'm a simple man, but all I know is documentation beats conversation every single day. And all I know is this. That's all. I don't have to do anything else. I know some of you are thinking, blah, 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 blah. You know what? It's okay. You know what? 3 kinds of people, right? People that makes things happen, people that watch things happen, and people that wonder what the hell happened. All I know is that the reason I'm excited about this is because I'm looking, Ahmed, and I'm readjusting my numbers to you and the co-founders every single week based on conversations like you and I talked about earlier of top leaders, names that we all know that are black diamonds, blue diamonds, ruby diamonds with diamond clusters. I don't know anymore what the heck are the names. I really don't care. They're superstar intergalactic coaches, leaders. You know, they all have these great titles, right? But everybody's going, what is going on? And one leader I talked to, Ahmed, yesterday, and I shared this with you. And I said, brother, you know what? You decide what you want to do. You decide what you want to do. But you've gotten 2 calls so far. And that's in 7 days, 6 days. And I said, just prepare yourself. Those 2 calls are going to turn into 5. Those 5 calls are going to turn into 10. Those 10 are going to turn into 20 or 30. And the question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to wait till you get 20, 30, 40, 50 calls to decide that, oh my God, something has happened and it's time for me to do something? Or do you want to do it now? So I hope, Ahmed, that answers your question directly, sir.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Phil. No, absolutely nail on the head. Is when you finish your questions, I have nothing to say, but just to move forward to the next one, as we say in the UK, mic drop, you know, and you just have to move to the next one. So the other question I have for you is, how should everyone on tonight's webinar, we have hundreds of people, by the way, how should people take advantage of the current global expansion of NeXarise? When we started, we were only in 1 country. Then we opened up another 4, 5, and then we had 5 countries. You know, in fact, I say 1 country for the first few months because in other markets, people couldn't even sign up because of payment processing issues. But now we are officially in more than 150, 160 countries around the world. In fact, more than 150 countries. How should people take advantage of this global expansion that we have going on right now, with all the upcoming products and services that we're going to be bringing to the market, with everything which is taking place of the future of NeXarise? How should people take advantage of the current global expansion of NeXarise?
That's a great question, Ahmed. And here's what I'm going to suggest to you. Today is day 1. Today is day 1. I believe, okay, I believe that everything that's been done up to this point doesn't count. And I want you to understand something. It's a mindset. For me, if you look at today as day 1, you get back to the zone of excitement of the day you made the decision to get involved. I know for some of you, that's 18 months ago. It's okay. You're the pioneers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for setting the trail. Thank you for leading the way for all of us. Now, here's the reality. It's day 1. Today is March 21st, 2021. To me, I'm looking at it as launch day. To me, that launch date was March 15th, 2021. This is a brand new company with an 18-month track record, with over 23 million the first year, with just, look, an incredible portfolio of services, with hundreds of leaders and tens of thousands of IBIs all over the world. But I truly believe there is no better time than now to go back to the people, and here's what I'm doing, and here's what I suggest you do. Go back to the people you shared the opportunity with 18 months ago that told you no. Go back to them and say, brother, let me show you what's happening. Let me show you what's happening in Latin America. Let me show you the technology the company is launching. Let me show you the advancement in the academy. Let me show you what's happening. Brother, you know what? You were right. Maybe it wasn't your time to be a pioneer 18 months ago, but you can't miss this. You can't miss this because you're going to kick yourself if you do. So my personal viewpoint is go back to everybody. Go back to everybody and say, look, you know what? I messed up. I messed up, you know, and when they say, oh, you're in that thing and that NeXarise thing, go, dude, you have no idea. You have no idea. You should see the size of the turbo they put on this thing. You should see the suspension, the wheels, the wing, the ground effects. Look, every single year Jocelyn and I are fans of Formula One. You guys know they just had the first race of Abu Dhabi, and you know there's so much controversy coming out from Mercedes and everything else. They completely redesigned the cars. Okay? That's what just happened here. It's our first race, Ahmed. And the NeXarise, you know, the car is completely redesigned and everybody's going, oh crap. Oh my God, look at the lap times it's setting. Do you guys understand something? This is the conversation. So my personal feeling is this, and it's not a feeling. This is because feeling to me is my experience. Let me just, what I talk about is 33 years worth of experience. So based on my 33 years of experience, I would just get back into phase one production, Ahmed. I would just go back to being your first day here, pull out your list, start making calls, start presenting, and do phase one production. Phase one production. And your goal is how many people can you put in the next, personally, in the next 30, 60, 90 days? And if that's cadence, that's work ethic. And that's exactly what I would recommend for anybody, no matter where you're at, what rank you're at, what position you're at, the size of your organization. Day one, phase one production, all out massive action.
Thank you, Phil. The other question I had for you is, you are a certified John Maxwell speaker and coach, right? So congratulations on that. And that's an accomplishment in itself. What's the importance? Because there's a lot of leaders, right? And I was actually speaking to a leader very late last night. And, you know, and I was, you know, I had a few leaders that were we were messaging back and forth. And I said this to one specific leader, right? They're amazing when it comes to phase one, grinding, hustling, being in front of people and closing them and so on. But we know that network marketing is not just about how good you are just in phase one, because that's one part of the business. But personal growth and leadership development is huge. So do you mind just sharing with everyone how vital or how crucial is personal growth in this industry?
Wow. It is to me, I learned this from my mentor. And this is the lesson that I learned. 3 years into my network marketing career, I had not advanced any rank. I had actually spent more money than I had made. And it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I had done a presentation. I had gone to every single event. I had done everything. And I went to my upline's house and I knocked at his door, Ahmed. And I remember this like if it was yesterday. And you'll hear me tell the story over and over again. Knocked at the door. He opens up the door and he goes, "Hey, Phil, how are you doing?" And this guy is now, he's a crown ambassador for this company, multimillionaire, very well known in the industry. It's a name that is very well known and respected. Had a huge house in Florida. I walk in and he offers me a cup of coffee and he looks at me and he goes, "I've been waiting for you." And I'm like, you've been waiting for me? What are you talking about? And so we started having a conversation and I expressed to him, Ahmed, how frustrated I was between the lack of growth and what was going on. And he said something to me very deep. And he says, "Phil, in life, you don't attract and you don't get what you want. You attract and you get what you are. And I was like, I don't understand. And so he says, come here, I want to show you something. I want to show you your biggest problem. And I'm going, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. And we walked down the hallway of this huge house that was about 7,000 square feet, had the big ceilings, you know, the type of house that we're talking about, right? He opens up a door and it's a guest bathroom. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, oh, what the heck is going on? And in this guest bathroom, Ahmed, there's this huge mirror against the wall. And I'm looking at him and I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to say. And he says, Phil, you're looking at your biggest problem. And guess what? I got it. It was me. It was me. See, there's 5 key components that you absolutely need to develop in order to have huge, massive success in this industry. Number 1, you absolutely need to, and this is non-negotiable. Listen to me. These 5 points are non-negotiable. If you negotiate any one of them, game over. Don't worry about it. You'll never have what you want. It's just literally that way. Number 1, you have to develop the right skill set. You cannot play like an amateur and expect to make money like a professional. You have to understand how to present. You have to understand how to close. You have to understand so many of this. So you have to develop the right skill set. Number 2, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a strategy. This is not fling mud against the wall and see what sticks, right? I'm going to do a presentation here when I feel like it, and no, it doesn't work that way. It's consistent, persistent, it's cadence, right? Number 3 or 4, listen to me, okay? It's personal development and leadership development. And what's interesting to me, I've met in the last 5 years, if you look at the industry, there's 3 components that everybody talks about, 3 things: money, money, and more money. Everybody's in Dubai. Everybody is next to the Lamborghini. Everybody's riding the camel. Everybody is dressed like a sheikh. Serious right now, right? And I'm sitting, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be offensive, but holy crap. You want you to understand something. Your income will never, never surpass your personal growth. There is and look, this is proven, okay? In the US, they did a study of 100 people that won the lottery, and they studied them before and after. And in 5 years, more than 97 to 98% were actually more broke than before they won the lottery. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? They were in a worse financial situation before they won than they were before they won the lottery. And why is that? Because we have gotten to a point now where we don't talk about the personal development, okay? Your attitude and your personal growth is the benchmark for everything else that comes there. That's why you see an athlete that comes from nowhere that all of a sudden gets a big contract, and 5 years later, he's no longer playing football or whatever it is, or he's in jail, he's doing drugs. Why? Because money makes you more of what you are. That's all it is. And so part of this, I want you guys to understand, is 2 key and critical components to me. If you listen to my position, it's field and leadership development. Why is that title so important to me? I don't care about the title. To be honest with you, it's about the leadership development, because number 1, you have to develop you. You have to get rid of all the things, you know, and let me put it this way. You are a sum total of your thoughts and your beliefs. Where you are at today is based on you. You're the responsible individual. You're the co-creator of your life. I know you don't want to hear that right now, but I want you to understand it's the harsh reality. And the reality is you can have $1 million opportunity and a $5,000 a month mindset. And Ahmed, what happens is somebody gets in and they only make up to 5,000 and they say, oh, this thing is crap, it doesn't work. No, the problem is yeah, you have $1 million a month opportunity, but you have a $5,000 a month mindset. Okay, so number 1, it's personal development. Books like Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay. I personally love Anthony Robbins. I love Anthony Robbins books. Okay. My favorite and first book I ever read is one he wrote 20 years ago, Awaken the Giant Within. You want to read a book that's going to change your life? Read that book. You want to read something from old school, okay? Zig Ziglar and all the old masters. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read The Magic of Thinking Big, okay? Read those kind of books to understand that your past does not necessarily determine your future, because at any time you can change, okay? I come from very humble beginnings. Our president comes from Somalia. You have, look, all I can tell you is this. If we allowed our past, the president, the CEO, the chairman, me, then you'll hear my story and you'll understand why I've become the man that I've become. I want you to understand something. If we allowed the limitations of our past to determine our present, that means we couldn't build our future. And so number one is personal development. Number two is leadership development. Why is that so important? Because this business, to have massive success, you can become a TC on your own, but RVP and beyond becomes a team game. And so there's two things you need to do: develop the leader within you. And number two, you need to learn how to create a atmosphere to develop leaders around you. There's one book two books I'm gonna recommend to you. And I've known John Maxwell since 1990, by the way, Ahmed, when he was a pastor of a church in San Diego before JMT, John Maxwell Leadership Training, was formed. So I have a long time relationship with him. And there's two books that have been very instrumental in me that I'm going to recommend to you, and then I'm done. Okay, and you can tell I'm very passionate about this. The first book is an old one he wrote a long time ago. It's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And the second one is more recent, and it is The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. And I would like to recommend that you learn the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, the law of the lid. There's so many, and it's, guys, it is powerful. And then when you read the 5 levels of leadership, I want you to test yourself, because we live in a world where most people think that leadership is based on title, pin, okay, or rank. And unfortunately, that is the lowest level of leadership in this world. They think that you're a leader because you have a title. I'm a president. I'm a RVP. I'm an SVP. I am a TC. Okay? Does that make sense, Ahmed? And what I want people to understand is our goal is to constantly learn, grow, change. I'm a 57-year-old man, and every single day what I ask God is, give me the opportunity to learn more, to serve others. Teach me humility and I want to grow. I'm in constant growth, because to me, I know that there's a dynamic law that is either you're evolving and growing or you're dying. And so I know I went a little bit long here, but those two components, guys. So number one, you have to develop the right skill set. Number two, you have to have the right strategy. Number three, right mindset for success. Number four, develop the leadership skills within you to create a culture of developing leaders around you. But you cannot, since the law of attraction is you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. You can never expect to attract leaders if you're not one first. You can't create a culture of leadership if you haven't been one yourself first. And number five is just an unbreakable work ethic, which I talked about earlier, Ahmed, which means that you're willing to outgrind anybody else on your team. When somebody comes up to you and says, Gerald, okay, or Ahmed, I am going to pass you up. You look at them and you go, Go ahead, right, and do it. Knock yourself out. Brother, let me tell you something. You better be ready to outgrind me, outwork me, and your tongue is going to be hanging out. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack. Never forget that. You are the example.
Absolutely. Thank you, Phil. Hit the nail on the head. So, as you know, every single person goes through cycles in their network marketing career. I mean, I know certainly that I remember there was a time I had more people leaving my team than more people joining my team. And I had to get my act together and really rebuild, from scratch and recruit new people and go out there and share the message and so on. So look, there are people on this call. Everyone's on a different level. Someone is in momentum. They're excited. There's someone else that's not in momentum. They're not excited. There's someone who's about to quit. And there's someone who just joined. There's someone that's going through other adversities and challenges, in their life. What advice would you give to the person who's on the fence, who's just about to give up and quit? And what advice would you give to someone who's really just trying to find their feet right now, or they need to relaunch their business bigger than ever before?
Wow, that's a great question. I always ask people, Ahmed, quit to what? I love when people come and they say, I'm going to quit. And I look at them in the eye and say, I love you. I understand you. Or you have the right to do what you want. But quit to what? See, the reality is change only happens in life, Ahmed. You know what I've learned is when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change is when change happens. So I'm going to repeat that because I want you guys to capture what I'm trying to tell you. When the pain of staying where you're at in your life is greater than the pain of the effort and the change required is when you change. See, I want you guys to understand something. It's not apples or oranges. It's not. If you don't do this, then what? I want you guys to understand something. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I care about you. I will always care about you. The owners of this company will care about you. But we're going to care about you so much that we're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And so what I tell people is go back to the original moment and remember why you decided to do this. See, commitment is doing that thing and finishing that thing that you set out to do long after the emotion of the decision that you made to do that thing is gone. I hope you guys capture that because I want you to understand what that means. In the moment, the emotion, you're like, yes, oh my God, we're going to crush it. I'm going to go RVP. I'm going to go SVP. I'm going to go TC. Giuseppe, I'm going to repeat that. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. And so I want you to understand something. Commitment is doing that thing, finishing that thing that you started out doing after the emotion of the decision is gone. Is completing that mission, completing that commitment, okay? Completing that goal after the emotion in the moment that you had, okay, is gone. What does that mean? When somebody says no, when somebody gets in and quits, when somebody says, oh my God, the signals that they sent us in September and October, they were crap. And you know what? So the company's crap. And you guys understand? Okay, guys, it's people are, you know what the biggest problem is? They're on an emotional roller coaster. It's woo, and it's up. And then it's, oh, and then and 5 seconds later, they're back on the emotional roller coaster, right? Guys, what you have to understand is in order to build a big business, you need to have emotional intelligence. And what I tell people is you have to learn how to flatline. What does that mean? That means you control your emotions. You got to get off the emotional roller coaster. But you also, I got to tell you something. The biggest regret of man is not things they should have done. Okay, at the end of life, it's a proven thing. And they talked to a bunch of people at their deathbed. And what they did is a study, and they asked, what do you regret the most? And do you know what Ahmed, the most common answer was? It's not what they didn't start. It's what they didn't finish. Finishing. Finishing is the biggest regret of man. It's not opportunities missed. It's opportunities that you took and you never had the courage to finish. Giuseppe, what that means is when the emotion leaves, you stay focused on that original thought and commitment that you made, even if you don't feel like it. Even if you don't feel like it, because that's what it takes to have huge success. And so to me, what I want you all to understand is you're looking at an imperfect individual that in 33 years has had massive failure, massive disappointments, people quitting, people talking crap about him. And it's just, but every single time I just dusted myself off, I got back up and I said, this too shall pass. I'm not letting this determine me. That's it, guys. I'm not any better than any of one you here. Ahmed is no better than any one of you here. Liju and Assad is no better. Our thing is that we have gotten off the emotional roller coaster and we've decided if today everybody in our organization quits, I'll start all over. And no matter what, I will finish what I said I was going to start, with you, without you. You choose. It's that simple. And that's what it takes, guys, to have a massive success.
You know, one thing I gained out of that is when you said the biggest regret of a man or a woman on their deathbed is not about what they didn't start, but it's about what they didn't finish. That was powerful. That was absolutely powerful. Well, listen, Phil, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for taking these questions and really pouring into everyone. And I'm just going to enable the chat. Can we just show Mr. Phil Moser our appreciation for, you know, just pouring into everyone on tonight's call? I think he's done an absolute phenomenal job. So the chat is enabled. If everyone can just type, let's just show him our appreciation. I have all notes. We appreciate you. You have people from all around the world. So we appreciate what this man has done, what he stands for, his leadership, and most importantly, what he's going to be bringing into NeXarise. We're really excited. We know that this is just the beginning. So one more time, thank you so much, Phil. Muito obrigada. Gracias. Merci beaucoup. And the whole lot that comes with it. So thank you so much for your time, Phil. Really appreciate you, brother.